Welcome back to Switch to Linux. I hope you guys are all doing well. Let me unmute the guests before I forget. Yes, we decided to stream today. It was 50-50, and I don't know, about noon, I'm thinking, do I even want to? And I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. And then I even went up myself from this afternoon. I took like a half-hour little power nap in my driver's seat while I just kind of stopped, got back from getting a bagel at the most amazing bagel place ever, and decided, you know what, we're just gonna do the Switch to Linux tonight. We did we have Amos chapter 5 coming up for you guys that watch the Bible studies on the Christian channel. That is up now, so that will premiere at 9 tonight. So it will be a lot of fun, and it is a holiday weekend coming into my quasi break. And so I'm going to try and do at least one video over the next couple days. I actually installed, Rhino Linux. So I installed Rhino Linux. We're going to have a look at that. And if there's something else I can do that's short, I'll do that. I know a couple of you guys requested more like the outdoor philosophy type videos. I'll see if I can fit some of those in on even a regular schedule. That'd be fun. And I did today finish the draft of the next video, the next supporters article, short story. And I gotta say, I don't know how I'm gonna top this one. It is good. It is a really good short story. I like to finish them about 2 weeks before I push them live, so that I can, have a chance to just let it fade away a little bit, and then I'll do my final edits, and then that'll be up on the 15th. So just a reminder, any supporters, you can still get the audiobook version of the last short story. Up until September 15, the links for those are up on whatever supporter platform you are supporting on: Patreon, Subscribestar, Locals, Think Life Media. Did I forget any of them out there? I don't know. Or any other supporter platform we have out there.
Subscribestar.
Subscribestar. I forgot Subscribestar. Yep. So Patreon is TOMM. Everything else is at Switch to Linux. And so you can jump on over there if you are a supporter, whether a new or an old supporter. You can go back, read that last short story, science fiction short story, all related to modern things and just modern things going on in the tech world. This new one is... I actually had some friends convince me into taking a slightly different direction, and I'm glad I did, because, man, hopefully this one will keep you on the edge of your seat until the end, and you'll be like, what? And so it'll be out on about the 15th or so, on or around the 15th is when we're going to shoot to have that out. So that is what we have going on right here. So I hope you guys have been having a good week. Of course, we do have news tomorrow. Weekly news roundup will be going on, and we will be broadcasting from a different state tomorrow is the plan, hopefully. So we are beginning that trek out west, and we're kind of going across the Central Plains this trip out. So, well, hopefully a couple fewer miles on the van than I did last year, which was I think last year's loop was 20,000 miles. This year I'm shooting for maybe 10 or 15 at most. So hopefully I'll be getting out and stopping quite a bit more. I don't know. We may or may not do a few more videos on the travel channel. I just don't know yet. The channel I think we might boot up before the travel channel next is actually the writing channel. It's just, it's content people want to see. And that channel is still my second best channel, despite having not uploaded anything on it in over a year. And it's very relevant to the new web project I have coming up, which I'm almost there, almost right there. But I did decide to come back. I didn't want to leave you guys too much in a loop for content. So we'll do that. But I have had a nice break. I got a lot of things organized in the storage unit. That was kind of the goal. And got a little bit of, met up with some people I wanted to meet up with. And then we will start getting back to the normal schedule. How you guys doing? How's it going, Dan?
I guess I'm doing okay this week.
All right. That's good.
Getting stuff done.
Yep. Yeah, and you were working on your truck today, and then you're like, oh, I received an email. We're streaming tonight. Yeah, nobody even knew we were streaming until like today. I bet Selby might have fallen asleep.
I take that stuff since I'm handicapped. I take that stuff at a very slow and easy pace.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I do around here, I do for maybe an hour or two, and then I sit down and rest, have some coffee, then do a little more. I don't just go gung ho and I say I got to have all this done today, or it's.
Yep.
It's
and
not
I am
good to
drinking
do that.
Plantation Mint is the tea for today. One of my favorites. Good Bigelow spearmint tea mixed with black tea, like spearmint and black. It's just amazing. How's it going, Ivan?
Not bad. It's getting colder at night, so that's comfortable.
Right. Yeah, I'm enjoying the colder at night. I tested the heater. Hopefully it's fine. I have had a few times where the inverter decided to shut itself off. I'm thinking it's having a hard time keeping itself cool. Like I might need to pull it out and blow some air through it, get the dust out. Is what I'm thinking.
Oh,
probably full cat hair.
Shut down. Yeah, I don't know what it is back there right now. I actually ran I installed an exhaust fan down. I installed an exhaust fan down at into the battery compartment, which is where the inverter is. Mostly it's there because when it gets cold, even if I'm running the heater in the main cab, there's not enough, there's a little bit of an air barrier. So that battery compartment would sometimes stay 10 or 15 degrees colder than inside the van. And when it freezes outside, that has a chance of freezing the batteries. So I've just been running, I run a fair. I just basically went to Best Buy and bought an LED powered big old computer fan, mounted it down there, and I just blow air from the cabin back in the battery compartment. And that actually keeps the temperature in the battery compartment to the same temperature as the rest of the van. But what I've found is there's times, particularly if I'm running the I can't run the induction oven and the streaming computer at the same time. And if I see the van getting over 30C and running the streaming computer for a couple hours, sometimes it will just stop pushing power. Don't know why. So hopefully there's no issues there. I did get the upper fan cleaned out. And the only other issue I'm having after 3 years in the van right now is the curtain, like the screen is starting to, there's some problems with it. I'm going to try and glue things back together and see if I can't get it going.
There you go. Make it the sewing kit out.
And my backup camera is doing weird things. Looks like it's possessed by the devil. And so I did a little bit of research and found out that, this model of van, the backup cameras die very quickly. So I'm just going to get out there. Basically, I'm going to get out there to the desert when I can get to a spot where I don't have to move for a week. That's really nice. When I get to a good spot, a BLM land where I get there like Sunday and I don't need to leave until like the following Saturday, don't have anything to do, I'll pop up there and pull it out and see if it's just dusty or dirty or whatever else. If it is, I just order a part, and it's such a known issue that the exact part number I need to order is easily findable on the internet from people who have tested different cameras. Because you can get cameras that will fit, but if they're not the perfect OEM, they'll still have the same problem and be inverted. And so you have to get the exact OEM model. So that's fun. All right. I think that's kind of my updates for now. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get on into let's do comments, then we'll go ahead and get on into our content here. We got 14 or 15 or so watching on Z2Bs. Dan's over there. Of course, Dan's over here as well. 8-Bit Bunny. Hello, Mr. Bunny. 8-Bit Easter Bunny. All right, Darren Cleft is here. Greetings to you. NK Random Commenter. My machines cannot be upgraded to Windows 11, so rejoice! So, good evening. Hello, the Anchorage. All right. Frosty Flake, hello there. Will it be a state of mind? I don't know. Hello, Jewel. I know it takes a while for me to get started. Rozzy, I saw Vegas was hit with some pretty good flooding. Is you guys still okay over there? Let me know. We should meet up when I'm out in my motorhome. Well, Frosty Flake, shoot me an email and we will see if we can certainly do that. 8-Bit Bunny, also known as One Whole Rabbit. There, One Whole Rabbite. All right. Is a rabbite? Is that a Jewish computer bit?
That was going to be my guess.
Okay. We have 11 currently watching on Odyssey. Greetings over on Odyssey. No jabby jabs ever says greetings. And we got 10. We just jumped up to double digits. 10 over there on Rumble. XBS Demise says good day to you. 1 over there on Twitch, but not communicating. He's too busy twitching. Vampire Frog has some Giphy cats going on over there. I do have, I am monitoring the chat over on Locals. Usually we don't have people use it, but I'll try and do that. Yes, I am looking at the Locals chat right now, so I will be checking in on the Locals chat. Let me do a total high level thing. We're gonna check the Matrix chat too. Just Ivan's over there. All right. Well, Ivan, let me know if there's anybody else coming in over there. Mesopotamian Rust, neither my machine can be upgraded to Windows 11, so I'm do this Linuxy thing, you guess. Yeah, the only thing, if you're new to Linux, you just have to be careful to try it on slow. I usually recommend that you don't just do a jump right to Linux. You should play around with things first. But you can do it with the perseverance. That's some rain, but I'm on a higher ground. Not sure about your storage unit. Yikes. Be in touch on the next cloud work, too. I ended up in the hospital, but better now. Well, I'm glad to hear that you are better. Vampire Frog's over here on the Tubies as well. Hello, Vampire Frog. I was seeing if you were over there on D Live, but I see you over here. I did get your email, Vampire Frog. So my apologies, man. I didn't have a chance to open it. Okay, you are a Linux user already. All right, sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and get into our topic. And I did send stuff out pretty late, so these guys, Dan, you said you probably didn't read it. Ivan, did you get a chance to read or not?
I grazed through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did pretty much the same. Just kind of give it a quick eye look over.
No big deal. No big deal. This is easy. It is easy. It is fast. First, we have the setup here, of course. There's always been this fight between Windows trying to really force you to use Microsoft Edge, right? They're like, use Edge, all this kind of stuff. And so they're finally, and TechRadar posts that Microsoft finally caves and will let some users actually use some preferred browser in Windows 11. Did you really think you were getting away from it that easy? We'll explain why in a minute. But basically, and this is like, it's time for the pettiness to stop. Oh, no. They've reached a whole new level of petty. They've reached such a level of petty. I'm expected to find this on Petty Revenge on r/, So here's Bye Edge. So there's programs that talk about Edge Deflector and MS Edge Redirect, allowing users to bypass this and use their chosen browsers. Why you need to have third-party tools to make your own computer do what you want your computer to do is so far beyond me, but there you have it. And these guys are pinning this up going, yes, we can finally have the thing. Well, hold that applause, because as soon as that happened, this rolled out. This rolled out in an update. This is BGA Upsell.exe, which is a Microsoft signed application. So it's legit here, or it's malware stole their keys again, one of the two. So pop-up isn't just a notification. It runs as a separate executable. So what this is you're seeing on your screen here, this is the little ad. So what the program does is it runs in the background at start, and then it will measure how often it sees Bing being used in the browser, which tells you that whether it's going to the cloud, going to the company, or does it stay local on your machine, at some level, Windows is monitoring everything you're entering into that URL bar. And if 48 hours ticks up and you do not use Bing.com, then you're going to get this lovely little thing, which is in the same place and probably sounds the same as the Windows notifications. It does look a little bit different, I think. Sorry, I'm just not a Windows user these days. But it's going to appear in the same spot, but it does not use the notification logic. It overlays everything. So if you're playing a video game, all of a sudden you might get this giant pop-up over your screen that is going to say, hey, switch your default search engine to Microsoft Bing and Chrome. So yeah, you're going to let you use Google Chrome now. They're just going to nag you every 2 days if you're not using Bing. So earn Microsoft reward points when you search. Try the new Bing, your AI-powered search engine. That's my first compelling reason to not use it, actually. Install Bing service to improve search experience. No.
That's going to really tick a lot of gamers off that do online gaming for competitive, stuff, and this box just pops up while you're trying to kill something.
And where the game is supposed to override the notification system and not nag you while you're playing your game, this does not do that. This overlays over whatever you're doing. So in July, Microsoft began to let web browsers other than Edge access and use AI-powered Bing chat service. Not unsurprising, they want to push their service, and of course, if you're limiting people to the one browser that everybody hates, you're probably not going to get a lot of users. But if you let people use it on Firefox or Safari or Chrome, then you can go ahead and get a little bit more users, harvest more user data. Now, multiple users and The Verge have all noticed a new notification that's being shown to users of Windows 10 and Windows 11, prompting them to use Bing search engine with Chrome, their default browser. Microsoft semi-regularly pushes Bing on Edge users who've already gone out of their way to select a different search engine. Windows 10 11 periodically encourage you to use Edge, and some Microsoft sites will also recommend Bing to non-Edge users. I'm going to pause right there for a moment and say, this is I am extraordinarily frustrated because it's like the notification system is supposed to notify you of something important. Now a notification pops up, hey, use our cool new crap. This is Windows. Your cool new crap was so baked into the default, I had to go 6 steps out of my way to disable it. Why are you popping up to use it? All right, any thoughts so far before we continue?
Well, on the note with using the Microsoft Edge, we all know Microsoft, nobody wants their browsers, whether it's Explorer or Edge.
The number one browser to download.
Microsoft just cannot get that one piece in their system that people like.
Yeah. And it's of course, I don't even use it. I threw on Firefox and Vivaldi. I'm like, I'll use those.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
I use LibreWolf mostly, though.
Yep.
Right.
Whoa. All right, so Edge users, let's see, bring back. This is, to my memory, the first example of an operating system level notification trying to get you to use Bing in a third-party browser. So now they're pushing out independent applications that are giving you independent pop-up notification messages that are separated from the whole notification system. And so with that, now they're trying to give you this extra tool. Now, once people started complaining about this, now the rep starts jumping in, and you know that a support rep is the support rep is lying when their lips are moving, right? You know this. So Microsoft rep Caitlin Ralston told Verge that this behavior is unintended, and the notification had been paused pending an investigation. No. To Verge's point,
really?
Or in this case, Ars Techno's point, okay, what is the purpose of it? It appears to be working exactly as intended. It's just you got backlash about it. Like, okay, we are going to have an application. We are literally going to call it Upsell. The only thing it does is it measures your system and reports back to the system if you don't use Bing on any search on any web browser in any given period of time. What is the intended behavior? I couldn't figure out what's going on, but all of a sudden a random, well-formatted notification popped up in my system. We don't know how. I haven't seen this much crazy delusion since the Israelites threw all the gold into the fire with Aaron, and out popped this golden calf. I don't know how the hell that happened.
And to remind you, this is another additional service added to Windows to bog down your computer's performance.
Oh, boy. I will use AI-powered Bing about the time I'm going to worship the golden calf. Thank you very much. So according to these reports, it's also not part of Windows' built-in notification system, as most Bing, OneDrive, and Microsoft 365 notifications are. Great. So these things are notifications just randomly popping up. And I have said it before. I can tell when these content creators are using Windows when in the middle of a stream, boom, 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 you know, a Windows notification sound appears, you know.
Yeah.
And if I see that on any of you Linux enthusiast channels, shame, shame, shame. You better become as ignorant about Windows as I am, or you're not doing it right. Yes, I'm being pithy. There's times you need that.
You're starting to sound like Spatchery now.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the guy at the Linux Foundation was giving a seminar at the Linux Foundation on a Mac. I mean, that's like that's like the CEO of Pepsi going into the meeting drinking a Coke. Okay. According to these reports, it's not part of the Windows notification. Okay, we already did that. It's entirely separate executable called BGA Upsell.exe, digitally signed by Microsoft. Although I haven't seen the specific notification on any of my Windows systems, and ArseReader also sent us some screenshots of the executable in question running on Windows. So it's just one. This is just one notification for now. Easily dismissible, but it joins the insistent and increasingly embarrassing notifications that Windows 11 pushes users about Edge, Bing, Microsoft 365, OneDrive, and Game Pass. Did you know if you try and open a link with the new Outlook app, it will prompt you to open with those links with Edge? That was new to this writer.
You know, I'm waiting for Microsoft to come up with the Windows merch store.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just like the whole thing that is going on. It's just like Windows is becoming more and more and more and more and more pushy about everything. It's like that's the type of stuff that is the type of stuff that so drives me crazy. Like why and how do you deal with that nonsense? All right, so we wrote about this whole behavior in Windows recently. It's just one more example of modern Windows system acting like a free-to-play browser game rather than a flexible computer operating system that respects its users' choice, despite the commercial software that your PC maker pays for, even if most people no longer directly buy Windows themselves. This new Bing in Chrome notification is a further escalation of the behavior, both in what it's asking for and its way to being delivered to users. So the reality here that we're talking about is this is so annoying and in many ways egregious. It's like, why can I not install an operating system and the operating system stays out of my way and does nothing but execute the programs I want it to execute? And the reality is it doesn't want to do that because they have a push to collect as much data, which they're going to collect more data. They're going to collect more data when I'm using their services instead of something that I have gone out of my way to enable. So that's kind of my thought. So what do you guys think on this before we get into a couple other talking points?
Well, you know, if you're using Windows, you got to go to the anger management classes or groups, you know, because, you know, it's just unreal. You're going to wind up punching your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to go to these anger management groups. You go, you're here because of Windows, right? Yeah, Windows.
yeah, Windows doing it.
I know. I'm like, for myself, it's like I actually haven't seen any of this because I'm really naughty, I suppose, because I managed to shut off telemetry. So I've got my Odin box here. That's Windows 10, and it doesn't phone home. I've got my laptop. That's Windows 10. It doesn't phone home. And so they don't know what's going on because it's not being told what's going on. So so I don't see this because it can't say, okay, do this if it doesn't know anything about what to push.
Yeah,
so I've been fortunate, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I've been fortunate because I'm not using Windows on anything. I did charge my Surface computer and the Apple computer the other day because, like, I was getting so much sunlight and everything was, so charged up. It's like, okay, I literally have power right now in my van that if I do not use it, I'm going to lose it. So let's cram it all into as many things around here with batteries.
There you go.
So of course, if you're watching this and you're like, oh boy, this is nonsense, I will deeply encourage you to try doing a switch over to Linux. Best place I'd recommend starting is Linux Mint. Now, I have a lot of videos about getting started in things. I am not an advocate of downloading Linux, wiping out your Windows drive, and doing this. I am more of an advocate of you can install Linux on a separate external hard drive, and you can boot off of that hard drive instead of the main one, and you can use Linux with like that. You also have the ability, you could pick up a secondary computer, and we're talking just enough to learn how everything works so that you can play around with the software. You can figure out the new flow because it is a different operating system. There's going to be a few things that are going to be a little bit different. And so we have to recognize that, we have to recommend that you're going to give yourself some time to get used to it. Some of the software you're already using, you can keep using. Some of the software you're using, you're going to need to change. That's just the reality of it. But Linux will respect what your choices are. And I recommend Linux Mint specifically because while it respects your choices, it is also designed to be very easy to use and works with the most available hardware. It's intuitive, and your basic, like your basic computer ignoramus, like your grandmother or something, you could literally put this on your computer and they wouldn't even know they're running a different system. And that really is really the best way to do it. So that's kind of where I recommend going. Any other thoughts you guys have?
Yeah, when your Windows computer is getting you all stressed out and everything, it's time to put it aside, go play with the Linux and relax for a while.
Yeah, there you go. Some of the points I had in my list here, as I already said, some of these are recaps. Some of these are just things I want to mention here for completion. We did mention this one. At some level, Windows is looking at what you visit on a website. Now, it's unclear if Microsoft gets this information or if this just stays local on your machine. But on some level, they're doing this. They're either doing this by looking at the application and running some form of spyware, watching what the application does, or I think this is something Microsoft is going because you can collect this data by doing some type of like Wireshark analysis and seeing where the data is going. And if they're not seeing data back to one of these services, they're going to give you the pop-up. Those are ways to do it. We don't know if Microsoft gets the information about who or what computers is using these or not. We don't know if this is tied to any Microsoft accounts. Because remember, these modern systems require you to log into a cloud account on their platforms. Something I'm not interested in doing.
Well,
this oh, God.
They're probably collecting information on websites you visit, like blogs and newspapers, to see what your interest is.
This is something Microsoft openly does, is they openly collect this type of information.
They may be collecting on stuff that you're putting into Amazon to see what you want to purchase. Then your computer may pop up. Hey, Microsoft has got the same thing for $2 less.
Amazon's going to start doing the same thing to see what everybody purchases. Ooh, we'll be talking about that tomorrow on the Weekly News Roundup. So that'll be fun. But then the next point is the representative's like, we don't know why this perfectly formatted pop-up is happening. It's completely unintended. Is this really an accident? I don't think so. This is just, this is what we intended. Oh, we're getting more backlash than we anticipated. Let's backpedal really fast. That's my thought. And then my last point is Linux allows you to control your computer. So I'd recommend playing around with Linux, even if you're not ready to make a complete jump. Then at least going on and playing around with it gives you more options in the event Microsoft does cross a boundary that you are not comfortable with them crossing.
Agreed.
So that's, I think, the main content for the night. So what was that, about a 15, 20-minute content block? Maybe I should pull that out and post it as a video later. That'd be fun. All right, if only I pushed the record button at the start of that, because that was actually well worked out. I'm liking this where I write out talking points to give to you guys. It's actually helping my organization. All right, back on to the comments. Again, if anybody sees a comment you'd like to read, go ahead. We got 27 over on ZTubies. Let's see. I don't know. It's just a silly joke on incorporating bunnies and rabbits in terms. Yeah, that's fine. We had, or it's a, what happens when a rabbit and a worm mate. You know, this goes all over the place. Right? We had some rain, higher ground. I can't think I already read that. Let's see. I've used Ubuntu 2-year full time from 2010 to 2012, and I thought I'd test the joke called Windows 8 and fell for it.
Ooh.
My computer
Hard
either
fall.
no Windows 11 for me, says not acceptable. Greetings, welcome, not acceptable. No worries. I'm busy adding restreaming to it using Oven Media Engine. There you go. Fork and money. Woo! We all know what that means. Looking for distro suggestions capable of running Dell wireless cards, hopefully. Like just being able to use a Dell computer with wireless cards. Most of your Dell computers, unless they're super low end, run Intel cards. So pretty much any Linux distribution is going to support that. I've never had any problem. The only computer I've had any issues with any wireless cards is my Lenovo S21E. Really low spec that runs a Broadcom card, but actually most modern distributions run it well. So, but you shouldn't have any problem on Linux Mint. You shouldn't have any problems on MX Linux. Shouldn't have any problems on Arch. The only one, like, depending on what the card is, if you can figure out what the card is, if it's like a Broadcom or what's the other one that people have issues with a lot? Don't run it with Fedora. That might be the one that gets you in your way.
Yeah, if you have a really, really old computer with a Broadcom wireless in it, you may have to use your Synaptic Package Manager and actually search for the B43 drivers, and they're available through Synaptic Package Manager, and it'll install them for you, reboot the computer, and your Broadcom should work.
Okay, good.
All
right, so rewind that 20 seconds and see what he said. Go ahead, Ivan.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll have to try to remember that because I've got an HP G6 from like 2012 or something like that. I throw Linux Mint on there and the wireless just goes tick tock. It doesn't work. So I'm like, it was working until an update was run at some point around 2017.
Find out which card you have in it, and then use the Synaptic Package Manager to find the driver. But you're going to have to identify is it a Broadcom card?
I think it's a Realtek.
A Realtek?
Oh yeah, the Realteks are the other ones. Those are tricky ones. Realtek cards. Now you might look into it. Might actually just be easier and cheaper just to swap it out. It depends if it's compatible or not.
Yeah, or get a fob.
Yeah, fob works too.
I know Debian has a Realtek firmware package that you have to install separately.
Well, that wouldn't be too hard. I could do it.
But if you do a little searching around, you'll find out what you got and what you need to find to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Let's see. Favorite VR game and Valve Index works just fine on Linux. Yeah. Chrome has turned to Rust. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Steam is getting better and better with the gaming such. If you switch to Firefox, because how Firefox says, wait, what?
Steam now runs within Linux as a service. So if you go to suspend it, it may ask you if you want to, it'll tell you that the service is running if you try to suspend it. Mm-hmm. And you can choose to suspend anyways. But when you come out of suspend, you may have to kick it and poke it a few times to get it to start again.
Yeah. And sometime in the near future, Roblox will be playable on Linux. So I'm like, I don't play Roblox, but I'm like, eh.
I was going to say my second cousin, when she was a kid, played that.
Yeah, I thought that was going super DRM, which DRM stuff generally has had a problem. XPS from 2006 is Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom is one of the ones that just doesn't have open source drivers.
If you buy your games from Steam, they're already DRM'd.
Yeah.
All right.
You-
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I know that much.
you
But
buy 'em-
some of the big AAA titles are going like the super DRM crap that just doesn't work on Linux.
Games that you can get at GOG that are DRM free, a lot of them will run in Lutris instead of Steam.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
If I ever get the urge to play video games that aren't like Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am not a gamer, guys. I'm not a gamer. 14 watching on Odyssey. Wherever an Odyssey it is. Okay. My refurbed laptop came with Windows 11 Pro. Played with it for a day or two and got sick and tired of being nagging pop-ups telling me to change power screen settings to reduce my... What? It was telling you to change your power settings to reduce your carbon footprint? God, Microsoft's gone woke. Dude, send me screenshots of that. Let's see. Yeah, don't tempt them. Eat the bugs. Hey, I on my daily walk last week on the Christian channel, I ate the bugs. Gotta watch it.
Ooh.
Want to see me eating the bugs?
Put a little sprinkle of salt on it. Yum yum.
No, I just ate it raw. Just picked it up, squished its head so it doesn't flap its wings when you bite it, and just
Crunchy.
They are crunchy. Yep. Sirx is a meta search. Yeah. Since I'm not a teenager, I have zero interest in video games. There you go. All right. It's kind of like me. We got 12 watching over on Rumble. Andy Pitts, hello. Oh, yet another spine tool. Bada bing. Oh, bada bing. An unintended.exe data collection tool? What? LMDE is the best. Yeah, that's over on Linux Mint. It is the Linux Mint Debian edition is LMDE, so you can have a look at that.
Yeah, get Windows Defender to get rid of it.
Yep. I love space, science, and nature. I share videos about them. Check out my profile. All right, man. Well, as long as the weather is good and I can get a good spot in BLM and have good internet, I will probably be looking at streaming the solar annular eclipse.
Cool.
And I have, as long as that works, I just need to give a couple days head notice, and I'm gonna pre-record a video about it with an astronomer, and we will play that a couple times during it. But there's a 2-hour window where you can see portions of the eclipse, and there is a 5-minute window where you see the ring of fire on the annular eclipse. So my goal is to see that, and I have with me, I think, 10 solar glasses, and I have a solar shield that I will be able to rig up and connect it on some of my my cameras there. And so hopefully we will be able to stream that, but it's completely dependent on, do I get a good spot? Is the sky clear that day? Which I will be in the desert, so it should be clear that day. Better chances than not. And can I get enough internet to stream? That's going to be the harder one. In which case I could record stuff, but it's not quite as exciting to do that. Okay, I think that was all of those particular comments. Smash that like button. Thank you for the reminder. Double R and R make a triple R. And if you replace the T in each word, it has a 4D. You literally sound like a tech support scammer. What? They really hate. Yeah, our governor won't be able to buy a gas car after 2030. Yeah. That's. We'll see what happens with that. All right, I think we've actually gone through all of our comments that I see. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up a little bit early. That way I can get to the news done and be off. I'm going to do a couple hours of travel tomorrow before the show. So then we are planning on that. We do have 9 o'clock today. We have a Christian channel. On the Christian channel, we will be doing the rest of our Amos chapter 5. Wrong button. I was going to grab you guys the link for that, but I went to the wrong link in my browser here. Let me go get the right one. There we are. Copy link address. It is going up on, premiering on YouTube. It will be on the alt tech platforms, a couple hours after that, so that should be up everywhere tonight. All right, guys, that is all we have for the night. You guys have anything final before we wrap up?
I'm good here.
You guys have any final thoughts?
Good.
All right, we're good. All right, guys, we're gonna jump off. Also, if anybody we will hang out here for, I don't know, half hour or so after the show is over. Anybody who is a supporter is welcome to jump on. The links are over on the supporter channel. Just log into wherever you have supported, and you will have you'll have all the link there to get into it. So that, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you all next